Hello, I'm Diego and my
Farah.
uh, nice to meet you too. Can you introduce yourself and tell us where are you come from?
My name is Douglas, and as an English teacher, everyone calls me Mr. D, and I'm originally from America. I'm originally from Idaho, by Oregon or Washington.
What brought you to this country?
My wife.
Your wife. Okay. How long have you been living here?
I've been here at least close to 22 years.
23 years.
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
And what was your first impression to this country?
When I first came to Indonesia, the very first thing I seen, my eyes were focused on garbage. But if my eyes are only seeing the garbage, then I'm not going to see the true beauty. And so I started seeing and watching people and watching how life is and started experiencing. Indonesia pulled me in. And it, sometimes you go to a country and, you feel like an outsider. But Indonesia kept on feeling and making me feel, yes, I was part of the country. Then I started seeing the true beauty. And to be honest, I have not been back to America yet.
How do you find the culture here compared to your home country?
Yes, as it was for many, many years, I kept on thinking Indonesia was backwards from the way America is. But I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong with my ideas that culture is actually very similar in so many ways from America, but it is mindset that changed it. And the culture in Indonesia is in a way to where, yes, it's more simplified, not so complicated. In fact, I've made this comment to many people that I wished Americans could come to Indonesia to learn how to live.
Okay.
When you first come to Jakarta, do you have what is your biggest challenge while adapting to life here?
That is culture shock. Culture shock hit me, and it was with me for the first year I was here. And it took me a year to really get into the idea, only one thought kept going in my mind. Why did I come here? And for the first year, I was just, what am I going to do? For my background is technical and mechanic and this. Now, what am I going to be here? Because Indonesia doesn't allow you to do this. The same kind of work I was doing in America. How am I going to do this? The only thing I could do was teach. This is something I've never done, but I have always had the feeling and knowledge I could do anything I want to do when I set my mind to it. I got a job, very first class that I taught, 45 students, 3 students were autistic, 2 students were Down syndrome, and I was just, it's the first class, 45 children, and I'm supposed to teach them English. I was not afraid. I was thinking something was wrong with me because I thought, this is exciting. And I started teaching them, and I started learning more and more. For one autistic student, I learned more about myself from him than I ever knew. And it was just the feeling, when you are trying to find your way in life, you have a fire inside of you. That little spark kept on, bothering me for years. Mm-hmm. When I came into this class, that little spark blew to the fire. I knew right then and there, that's what I was meant to be as a teacher.
Wow, amazing. Move to the next question. Do you speak the local language? And if yes, how did you learn it?
I can speak Bahasa a lot better than I used to. But it was on the idea that, yes, how I taught myself to learn English or learn Bahasa was not only listening to people, but just get right into trying to speak.
So you've been living here for a long time. What do you like the most about living here?
That is a very difficult question because climate is one that I really, really like. I've been asked by many students, what do you miss? Do you miss winter? But I love the climate here. The other part that I really, really enjoyed about Indonesia, the people. The people have a mindset, they have a desire to live, something that I've always had.
Are there any custom or tradition here that you found surprisingly?
No, really.
How do you maintain connections with your home country, America, while living here abroad?
Well, that's very simple. Technology. When I left America, came here, my mother and I was communicating with her with video chat every day, 15 years until she passed away. The day that she was ill and she was in the hospital, and so I was able to talk to her through the video and that. So it was a very, very meaningful experience because of technology.
Next to the next question. What is your local favorite dish and how does it compare to your food from your home country?
My favorite food is nasi goreng ikan asin.
Okay, nasi goreng ikan asin. Okay, we
That's
got
my
it.
favorite. It always has been.
What are some things you miss from your country?
That's a very, very good question, and I often think about that. And I keep on coming to the same conclusion. I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing anything that Indonesia does not provide for me here that I did have in America. Actually, I have a lot more here because I have a business, I have family, I have many, many friends around.
Do you think living abroad has changed your perspective or life, and how so?
You know, this is the thing that I will say, that yes, living in America, you get into the mindset that you're above everyone else. Ego. After I came to Indonesia, my perspective of life changed because I started seeing all of the time that I was growing up in America, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was meant to be. But when I came to Indonesia, when I learned who I was, what I was meant to be, what my purpose is. So my perspective changed so much, and it made me not only wiser, but stronger. I was closed off. I was so sheltered in America. Here, it's open.
How is the working culture different from your country?
That being an online teacher has been my dream. When I first came to Indonesia and I started working with schools and we had so many problems with education, the education department kept on pulling the English out of the curriculum and back and forth. So students had a real hard time trying to get, a teacher from America, working with different schools. When I came and started being online, my main idea was I want to teach not just students in Indonesia, I want to teach students around the world. Now I have students all around the world.
How do you usually spend your free time now?
What I usually do on my free time is, yes, of course, I have 2 dogs and I take them walking 3 times a day. And so they're my excitement, my physical. My mental is all teaching. And so on my free time, I spend my time studying, learning, writing material. So I gain the knowledge and the understanding that I need. Then I can share that with each of my students.
Have you faced any difficulties or discrimination here as a foreigner?
Yes, that has happened. But I will be very, very honest that each case that I experiences was my own doing. Just very first time that I was actually going out, learning what Indonesia was like, yes, I had the mindset of them. It was a rude awakening on the idea that, yes, you don't have to be that way. They want to know, people want to know who you are. You need to break down, let down your ego. And that changed me.
What advice would you give to someone from your country who is thinking of moving here?
The advice that I would give them is leave your baggage at Because when you come to Indonesia, you are not only a guest, but you are also a person that they are willing to let you in. If you bring all of the baggage, as what we say, your ego, your better than everyone else attitude, that's going to fail. My advice is leave that at home. Look at it as a new journey into a new way of understanding, a new way of life.
And how do you feel about the local community's perception of foreigner?
I haven't had any doubt that most places and most Indonesian friends and people that I visit with every day, it's never been any more than polite. It's a balance. It is a true balance in between thought and, yes, it's a give and take. You can learn as much as you can, sharing that knowledge.
Would you recommend this country as a good place for a foreigner or to live?
That's a subjective question, and so it is in an idea that, yes, in some cases, yes, I would recommend Indonesia to any foreigner that wants to come here. But I would also add to the previous question, respect the country, because that's all they want to do is respect you.
This is the last question. Can you give us some advice as a Gen Z to be fluent in English?
The one thing that helps you to be fluent in English, believe in yourself. Relax with it. Because when we are relaxed, we understand better and more. English is a language of feeling. Most of us, we have the ability, we have knowledge that we have in our mind. I know what I want to say, but I have to translate Bahasa Indonesia into English and get the English words out. The most important thing, step one, relax. Step two, and this is something 90% of teachers will never say, forget about vocabulary, put that out of your mind. Because every time you think, I don't want to say anything wrong, my grammar is terrible. If you put all of those thoughts out of your mind and start focusing your attention on the question, the language flow. Yes, it's a process. I'm not saying you can be fluent here to here. No. But if you continue to believe in yourself and be persistent with what you want to do, make your goals achievable. Think of it that when you are wanting to be fluent in English, think of it you're climbing a ladder, step by step.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Mr. D, for answering our question, and have a nice day.
Oh yes, I have a big day. So. Nice to meet you guys, and yes, I know that you'll be good with things.
Oh, thank you.